Hey Summit members, I hope this finds everyone well. Today I wanted to share with you 4 quick tips that I have for edging and performing a brace stroke while you are out on the water in your kayak. So first and foremost, this is a more advanced maneuver, so you should really be comfortable with your basic kayak strokes, including the forward stroke, the sweep stroke, reverse stroke, and draw strokes. And you can actually find some tips for those in one of our paddling Summit threads. So if you find that helpful, go ahead and check those out. In addition, before you kind of pursue the whole edging and bracing scenario, you really should master knowing how to do a wet exit and self-rescue. And the reason for this is because the whole point of bracing is actually to prevent your kayak from completely capsizing. So it's kind of in the process of capsizing. This is a great way to catch yourself. But you should definitely have those wet exit and self-rescue techniques dialed in, just in case, you know, the first few times you try out this maneuver, you actually end up capsizing instead. Practice makes perfect, so it's better to be safe and know how to self-rescue first of all. So let's go ahead and talk about edging. So edging is actually when you tilt your kayak slightly to one side while tightening your core to hold it into place. So if you've ever looked out on the water and seen a kayak sort of tilted in the water, that's a person actually performing a purposeful edging position. So it's more of a position than a maneuver because you really want to try and hold that into place. And some benefits of that are in this position with your kayak tilted to the side, that allows you to really carve in and get a deeper stroke, or make a really precise turn if you're about to possibly hit an obstacle. And knowing how to edge is actually a prerequisite for the bracing maneuver. So it's a great thing to practice while you're out on the water on both sides, kind of just getting your kayak to using your torso strength primarily and just shifting your weight and holding that position on both sides of the water. So one tip here is to keep your torso in the center line. So when you lean, you really want to shift your weight but not move your torso off the center line. So that can kind of be the hardest part that I've found as far as like mastering that skill. So let's go ahead and talk about bracing then. So bracing is a technique that actually allows you to prevent a total capsize in the event that your boat starts to go that direction, whether to the left or the right. And so there are 2 ways to perform this. You can do what's called a low brace, and it's primarily differentiated by the height at which you hold your paddle. So a low brace or a high brace. And which one you do kind of depends just on personal preference, how it feels in the water, how fast you're moving, etc. So whichever feels like it's going to be more effective in that moment, it's a great idea to try and master both a low and a high brace if possible. But some people really master one and really dial that in and kind of stick to that, and that works great too. So both types of bracing are performed while you're actually in the edging position. And so to perform a brace technique, you're going to want to edge your boat in the direction, away from the direction that you will be capsizing, but in the direction of the which side you're going to perform the brace on. So it's kind of intuitive in that sense. And you also want to use your paddle on that side. So when you actually perform the maneuver, you're going to use your paddle to kind of slap the water and sort of like save yourself from finishing that tipping movement. And another tip I have here is leaning your head and shoulder in that direction can actually really help in completing the maneuver. I find that it sort of helps you, it reminds you to keep your torso on that center line while allowing, you know, some of your body to go with that paddle. And also keeping an upright position as much as possible, as opposed to kind of slouching, and actually you can lose the position completely. I've found if you just slouch down suddenly, so that leaning your head and your shoulder is a great way to remind yourself of those body positions. So to quickly recap, 4 tips that I have for edging and performing a brace stroke in a kayak. First and foremost, know that this is a much more advanced maneuver, and so you should first be comfortable with your basic kayak strokes, as well as how to perform a wet exit and a self-rescue. There are video tips on both a wet exit and performing a self-rescue in our library, so definitely check those out if you want to before coming back to this video. So quickly, edging is when you actually have your kayak tilted slightly to one side while your core is tight and your upper torso, lower torso remains on that center line over your kayak. In this position, it's a holding position, less so than a maneuver, and it allows you to make really precise turns or to make a deep carving stroke in the water, and will kind of come intuitively as you progress in your kayaking skills. Third tip, let's talk about bracing. So the bracing technique is what allows you to not capsize in the event that you can catch yourself kind of mid-capsize. So one thing to be aware of is you can both brace in a low and a high position as determined by your kayak height, and whichever you choose comes down to personal preference and sort of the situation at hand and just what you feel more comfortable with. So bracing is performed while you're actually in the edging position. So to perform a brace technique, you first want to edge your boat in the direction of the brace, intuitive, and use your paddle to really slap the water on that one side, and kind of using your shoulder to really anchor that slap and kind of get your boat tilted back up in the upright position is the goal of the maneuver. And final tip, really leaning your head and shoulder in the direction of the brace when you slap the water can help you complete that maneuver by keeping your lower torso above the center line of your boat, as well as just keeping your body in alignment and not slouching forward. So I hope you found these tips for a few more advanced techniques to have in our repertoire useful to you, and let me know, as always, if you have any questions or would like more details on these, as I know they're a little hard to visualize without being in a kayak, so definitely considering trying to figure out a way to do some of these tips in the water to make them more useful for you. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, it's Amanda. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to hiking and backpacking, I just wanted to recommend that you check out our Adventure Academy Summit, where you'll find everything you need to know to learn how to become a safe and confident hiker. In Summit, we have tons of video courses, ebooks, and downloadable cheat sheets. We also do weekly live webinars where you can get any questions that you might have on a variety of subjects answered in real time. Summit also comes with a really convenient mobile app, which includes sort of a mini Facebook for all of its members built into the platform, so you can connect with other adventure junkies in your area at your convenience. It's really cool. If you want to give it a chance, check it out and go to the adventurejunkies.com/academy or click the link in the description below. I look forward to seeing you in Summit.